Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Brian Moody, Executive Editor at Autotrader. Thank you for joining us, Brian.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Well, what we're talking about is advice, information for car owners and people who are out there trying to do some shopping about staying safe. And you've got some thoughts about what people can do in their cars.
Right. There are ways that you can disinfect your car if you're worried about that, but it's important to note that the reason for doing so should really be kind of specific. Maybe you've had a sick person in your car, you had to go to the doctor's office, or maybe if you're going to be transporting a baby or elderly or someone with a compromised immune system, those are reasons why you might want to try and disinfect your car. And you can do that by simply wiping down the frequently touched surfaces. Be careful. You can use antibacterial wipes and that kind of stuff. Be careful about the bleach-based things. For the most part, it's not going to hurt initially, but if you do it over time, it could mess with the finish. But, yeah, just do the frequently touched things like seat controls, seat belt, steering wheel, gear shift, door handle, all that kind of stuff. If you sort of, antibacterial wipe those things, you should be in better shape.
So really the surfaces that we typically are touching in the car, but you have to wonder
right.
if somebody had been in the vehicle and had been coughing or whatever, I guess
right.
maybe more thoroughly check things out then.
Right. Those are all good reasons. And, like I said, we notice that what we're hearing from medical professionals is that touching your face is the big thing. Well, something on your hand and then you touch your face. If you just focus on those frequently touched surfaces, and don't forget, like your rear view mirror, there are buttons on there sometimes for your garage remote. Don't forget the radio. Don't forget the seat belt. Those kind of things that's easy to overlook.
And we're seeing quite a few ads from car makers offering special deals during this time, extended payments and no payments for months at a time. Tell me about the market for buying and selling cars today. What should people know? A lot, people are staying home, so obviously there aren't that many buyers out there, it would seem.
Well, people are staying home, but I think that one of the good things is that we already see, in the news and on TV that people are already looking ahead toward what's to come. So this isn't going to be a permanent situation. And the truth is there are some people that, this is an unplanned event. We didn't know that this was all coming. So some people have things like their registration is due, or their lease is up, or their old car broke down. So there's all of these things that put you in a unique position. Like you said, thankfully, dealerships and manufacturers are offering special programs to allow you to either feel more safe or to extend the car that you have or to defer payments. All of those are things that you should look for if you're in that position, because a lease return, that was established 2, 3, 4 years ago. There's no way they could have known that, obviously, back then. So if you don't feel comfortable going in, contact your dealership and say, hey, listen, here's what I want to do. And they'll work with you. There's even test drives where they'll bring the car to you, or you can say, I just want to keep it 3 months longer just to be past all this, and then when it's safe, I'll bring it in and we'll talk about my next new car.
What about servicing vehicles during this time? I mean, people are obviously reluctant, and maybe the shops aren't even open. What should people know?
Well, here's the thing with the servicing of vehicles. In most states, in most cases, servicing of vehicles is considered an essential service, because even though people aren't, for the most part, supposed to be gathering and going to work and those kinds of things, you still have to do essential things. Get food, go to doctor's visits, go get a test of some kind. So servicing of vehicles is considered an essential service for the most part, and your service provider or your dealership will find a way to do it so that you feel safe. Maybe it's distancing inside the waiting rooms. Maybe it's they come and pick up your car for you. Maybe they disinfect the car before they return it to you. There's all of these possibilities. But listen, if your car breaks down, your car breaks down. That's not going to change just because you didn't want it to be true.
And Autotrader actually works with some dealerships, various programs to help their customers?
Yeah, Autotrader obviously has dealerships and individual people as customers that advertise on their platform. So Autotrader has come up with a way, a home services plan where you can go and contact these certain dealerships and say, listen, and look for the Accelerate logo on there, and look for this special badging when you're on Autotrader. You can even just call your local dealer and say, listen, I really want this service where I can do a virtual walk around, or you bring the car to me and I don't have to talk to anyone or interact with them personally. You can do all that stuff either looking for the dealership on Autotrader or calling your local dealer just in the town that you live in.
Do you think there are going to be long-term effects from this in terms of the number of people who are willing to buy a car online and at least do a lot of that work, including the purchasing online?
I think so, and I think it was already headed that way, but this just accelerated that process. So now I think a lot of people, I don't know about you, but when I go pick up food from a local restaurant, I never liked walking in and going to the bar to do that. I didn't like that. I never wanted to do it. And now that they bring it out to your car, kind of like car hop service from 50 years ago, I think a lot of people are like, hey, this is better. Why don't we just always do this? And I think car shopping will be similar, that you can do most of the deal online. You can apply for financing. You can even suggest a price. You can shop. You can do all these things virtually. I think a lot of those things are going to stick because people realize that it's in many ways it's better. Now, there will always be people that just want to show up and, look around and kick tires and that kind of thing. But I think most people have seen that, like, wow, this is an easier, quicker way for me to do business. And I think it will kind of come back to that point, but not all of these measures, I think, are going to completely go away.
And just before we let you go, are there certain things that people can safely use to clean their vehicles, sanitize them? You were talking about stuff that maybe we shouldn't use too often, some of the bleach stuff.
Well, you can use antibacterial wipes. That's a good one. A lot of, just Windex and that kind of stuff you can use and wipe down the interior of your car. But whatever you do, the point is whatever product you choose is just make sure that you're hitting the points where the driver or a person frequently touches. And if you can do that, you're on your way toward making it a little bit safer.
For more info on lots of stuff that we've talked about and more, the website is autotrader.com. Brian Moody, thank you for taking the time with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Cooking with the power of the sun. Hi, I'm Fred Fishkin, here to tell you about the latest innovation from my friend Patrick Sherwin and his great team at GoSun Stove. The GoSun Fusion has arrived using the company's tried and true reflectors and a solar vacuum tube to get you cooking without the mess of charcoal, heavy propane tanks, or smoke. A really bright idea. And with an optional solar panel and battery storage and the ability to plug in at home or on the road, you really can use the GoSun Fusion to cook anytime and anywhere, day or night, rain or shine. I love what Patrick and his team are doing, and so will you. Want to learn more? Head to gosun.co to check out all of the company's products and innovations and use the code Techstination to save 10%. That's gosun.co.